the one thing I want to get into with Darby is the last time we had you on, Darby, you talked about your love and your loyalty for AEW because what AEW has done for you. And now I have to talk about what you have done for them. I think if there is one person that you can make a face of the company, it is Darby Allin. You literally waved the flag for AEW. I mean, talk about how much this company means to you.
Oh God, it's insane. Really, really stop and think about what they let me do in the middle of my career. Because wrestling is just a 15-minute ride, and everybody never wants you to get off the hamster wheel. They're like, "We got it. You got to be here. You got to do this. And then you feel like you're living your life for somebody else at that point, and you don't have the freedom. But with AEW, they literally say, "Darby, go do whatever the fuck you want." And what I want is to climb Mount Everest. And if you think about that, that's really risking your life out there. So you're essentially like, there's a good chance you might die doing this thing that you really want to do. But I really wanted to climb Everest to really prove to myself that I can really do anything, because I just want to see who I'd come on the other side out of it, like who I'd become. And it was just a really great experience to have that, and to, in the middle of my career. And I don't know, words can't describe how grateful I am for that whole experience.
I think that's one of the coolest things, and one of the things I truly love about AEW is they support you outside of the wrestling ring as well. I mean, there's several talent that have gone to do some movies or, appearances and climbing Everest and all of these things. And I feel like Tony truly wants the talent to be happy and experience life. It's not just about wrestling in a ring, like you said, for 15 minutes. It's finding yourself. It's exploring the world. And I think he treats a lot of the talent like family and takes care of people. I mean, you saw that with Brody. It's like one of those things where I think that he truly appreciates the sacrifices that his roster makes for him when that TV show is running. And so he wants to help and create opportunities for them in all aspects of life. So I love seeing that.
Yeah, my whole thing is I feel like life is just a journey to be free and really find yourself. And then the fact that we can do this at this level, like national TV, but we can literally express ourselves to the fullest, is like I can't put into words. I don't there's not a second that goes by that I don't understand the importance of AEW.
So, Darby, you just said it when you talked about climbing Mount Everest. You wanted to see what person you were going to be on the other side. So, after making that climb, where a lot of people have failed, a lot of people sacrificed their own lives trying to make that climb. Has it changed you since you made the climb?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, it really makes me put into perspective how important life is, and your own wants and needs. Because like I said, you start to live your life for somebody else, and you're so addicted to the fame or whatever it is, and you realize none of that shit matters. None of that matters. What matters is just being grounded and level-headed and humble, and that's like the whole thing. I want to be able to be this guy once this is all said and done, that I can just fuck off and disappear and not be clinging onto the spotlight, being like, look at me, I'm here, pay attention to me. It's like, because that desperation is sickening to watch.
And that's very difficult to do, because once it is kind of an addiction, right? Being in the spotlight, getting adulation from fans, which you do in droves. It could become an addiction. Like, you could become addicted to it, and it becomes your life, where you're chasing that ghost of fame. But it sounds like you were so grounded in that's never going to be an issue for you.
Yeah, no, I'm like so at peace whenever this ends, and like that's the thing, is like I really just don't. I'm really happy that I've found this early on in my career, because I would hate to, I don't know, it's scary. It's scary when people just are addicted to the fame and the 15-minute ride. But at the end of the day, like, you're addicted to, I don't know, wrestling's the greatest thing in the world. Don't get me wrong. It's the fucking greatest thing. Like, but at the end of the day, someone else is in control of your destiny. You know, whoever's running the show or booking things out, so they can decide how high you're going to go or how low you're going to go. So it's just like this thing of like, I'm the fucking man, I'm the best. Like, are you really? Like, can we really decide who's the best in this thing? So the fact that like people believe their own hype when someone else booked them to be the man, you know, it's like, to me, like, that's all bullshit. I just feel like you got to be happy with who you are inside when the cameras aren't rolling. And if you're not happy and you're relying on someone else to book you to be happy, like that's like, you know, that's when you have to dive deep down inside and really find who you are.
Dude, it's so refreshing to hear, because like I think that's something that I thoroughly believe as well. Like the power of the pencil shouldn't dictate your entire existence. Like you need to have stuff outside, because when it is done, none of it actually mattered. It's the experiences you had, and it's in the ring and out of the ring. For me, like I got kids and family, like it's about spending time with them and creating memories with them. And you know, I messaged you on Instagram when they finally aired that package for the Everest climb, and we were chatting about it. And you're like, you know, what mountains have you? I'm like, dude, I'm totally living in envy and jealousy that you got to do that, because like I told you, I would be a dead body you passed. My big ass does not need to be at that elevation. I'll stick to some smaller ones. But like we were out in Montana hiking the mountains this weekend, and it's like it's such a freeing thing. And like I have so many questions about the Everest hike and how it made you feel. Did it make you feel small, like and insignificant on this giant mountain with the weather and all of those things, or did you feel larger than life when you're standing on top of the mountain? Like the mind frame, the thought process. Is there ever a point where you want to quit? And like humbling moments, like passing by bodies. Like I need some details of this experience just to live a few moments vicariously through you. And you know, just sitting here talking already, like obviously always have been a fan of what you've been doing, and what you bring to the table, because I was a massive Sting fan. Then you got to work with him, and then now, you know, you're carrying your own torch, and it's so cool to see. But like I need some details, man, of the climb.
It makes you feel very, very small. And the problems that you feel are huge, you realize don't mean a single thing up there. And you know, it's just like this thing of wrestling. People try to convince you, they want you to believe that it's like everybody has to be fighting. There has to be a war between companies. But at the end of the day, like when I got to the summit, I started crying because I realized just like none of this shit fucking matters. Nothing matters. All that matters is just like your inner peace. So like I'm not going to come up here and be like, "Oh yeah, like AEW for life," cuz like I love AEW, but the thing is some people work better in WWE, some people work better in TNA. Like it's not like one thing. It's like better for everybody that there's so much. So you know, like that's the thing is like I just don't want to get caught up in the small arguments because that stuff does not matter to me at all. Like like I said, I love wrestling, but I try to just stay away from it as much as possible in my own personal time. And yeah, it's a whole thing. But that mountain is so humbling, and it just makes you realize just how fragile life is and how, you know, it's just gonna end one day very, very soon. And it just seems like, man, just be in the moment. Just be here now. Don't worry about so much small things, and just don't fight and argue over stupid shit. So,
Were you scared?
oh, absolutely. Yeah, like once we got to base camp, they straight up said, "Hey, we got these trackers, and we could put them on you, so in case you get crushed by an avalanche, that we could find your bodies and stuff." And then you're just like, "Man, this it gets real really fast," and it just makes you be like, "Man, this is honestly, like, I don't want to wear the tracker because like, what are you gonna like if I die, just leave me up there. It don't matter." But yeah, no, it's very intimidating because at that rate you could train all you want, but with Mother Nature, it's so unpredictable. You know, you hear avalanches in the night falling, so you're trying to get some sleep, but you hear these avalanches, and you just keep thinking, man, it could just take you out when you least expect
Wow.
it. So it was,
We're like some of those ladders that you're crossing and climbing look so haggard and beat up, and like again, that's where my fat ass would be like, I don't trust this. Like, were those moments, was there a particular moment where you're like, what am I doing? Aside from the avalanches of the night, but like in a certain part of the climb, was there a moment where you were just like, this is insanity, and like you're trying to stay calm because you need every bit of oxygen and energy you have. Um, was there a moment during the climb where you were like, this is just madness?
Yeah, but honestly, I was at peace if I died on that mountain because they told me the first thing they asked me, like, "Are you willing to die?" And if you said no, they're like, "Don't even step foot on the mountain." But I was like, "Yeah, I'm fully ready to die." So at that rate, I was just like, "It is what it is, whatever happens." But it was the summit, from Camp 4 to the summit. I remember like there was a bit of a traffic jam, and we didn't move for over an hour. We stood still for over an hour and didn't move, and that's when people started running out of oxygen, and they started like their adrenaline stopped, so they started freezing, and and I saw people like just get out of line. They're like, "I'm not gonna die on this mountain," but I was fully. I was like, "You couldn't take me off it until I made it to the summit," because I made it so public that I was going to summit this, and at the end of the day, all you have is your word, and if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it even if it kills me. So yeah, like that's why it was so important for me to get to the summit.
That's so
Man,
crazy. So
that
crazy,
is
dude.
that's unbelievable, dude. Like that is fantastic to hear because I don't think I've ever met anybody with that kind of drive like you have. And and it's hard to have this conversation and get back to wrestling because it's just like because you're talking about life and death here, but you're on top of that mountain, and like once you've accomplished it and you're there on top, just try to describe what that moment was like for you when you accomplished that feat.
Yeah, so when I got there, I was just, you know, it was so hard to tell what I was going to feel. I kept like the whole time I'd visualize like how am I going to feel on top of Everest? Like what is but the moment I made it up there, I just started crying, and it was like an incredible feeling. I couldn't even describe it, and like I said, it goes back to the freedom that AEW's given me, and this is all because of AEW that they let me live. They let me live. I'm not a fucking cog on the wheel where it's just like, all right, we're gonna use you, spit you up, because like everybody sees it, in the wrestling world, you can get chewed up and spit out so easy and left with nothing, and you're just like, man, I really thought I was something special, but you realize how little you are in the grand scheme of things. But that's like my whole thing is I was like, dude, I'm actually living. I'm free. And I just cried, and I proposed to my my girlfriend up on the mountain, and yeah, on the summit, and it was just a fun experience.
That's so
Man,
wild. Like when you did the kickflip, just total like go from life and death to the kickflip. Did the Guinness World Records send you a plaque yet for that? And
They don't count it
why?
because you gotta like get with them first before you do something.
Ah,
And I'm just like, dude, in my heart, I know I hold the world record. Ain't
yeah,
nobody doing a
100%.
kickflip higher than
100%.
21,000 plus feet. That was no
How
joke.
much energy did that actually take just to do that?
Surprisingly, not too much. Just the board itself was icy. Because when I
Ah,
put it on my backpack and I'm walking through up the mountain, and then just the board gets ice all over it. So you're trying to kickflip a board that's like literally ice skating rink. But it was no, that was incredible. It was
and
fun.
then the Sherpas, man. I feel like they're the most superhuman people on the entire planet because they make that trek, what, 2 or 3 times a year, maybe
Yeah,
carrying
yeah.
other people's shit.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing asked them. I was like, "Hey, I don't want you guys to hold my hand up the whole time. I want to prove to you that I can do this, because you see it when you're at base camp and you're going through the ice fall. There's so much people that have no business being on that mountain, and these Sherpas are literally risking their life to pull these people up this mountain. I was like, I do not want to be one of those people. I was like, let me do everything I can do by myself. I don't want to have my hand held the whole time. So it was cool to earn their respect in that regards. But those guys are incredible. They are incredible, and they're also the most humble people because they have nothing. Like they live in these little villages, and they don't have to have a lot to be happy. And it's just like they're just the most caring, grounded people, and it was cool to really see that.
talk about your relationship with Tony Khan. You mentioned AEW letting you do this, letting you be you. Talk about the special relationship you have with Tony Khan.
Well, that's the thing. Like right before I left to Everest, I had a meeting with Tony because I'm like, hey man, I might die. This might be the last time you see Mr. Darby.
And Tony and the company's put a lot on you as one of the faces of the company.
Yeah. So, but what I told him is like, you don't owe me anything because I'm already winning in life. I don't need a championship. You know, like you don't owe me a championship because I'm already winning in life. Because I got to, I took my mom to base camp with me. She hiked up to Everest base camp. I took my dad to a Wim Hof retreat in Poland. We did all these crazy things that I could do for my family. And I'm like, I'm already winning. I don't need a championship to prove anything to myself. So I was like, the fact that I just say, just for you letting me live my life the way I live, that's all I need. So I can't express how much gratitude I have for him just as a human and a company owner and stuff. It's I can't describe because like literally I think about like I got my backyard's a crazy 14-acre compound where we're blowing shit up going off these jumps and doing all this stuff, and not once has he ever texted me and be like, you need to be careful. It's cool. Like I really feel like, damn, my life is so fulfilled right now inside the ring because we can have so much freedom, but then also outside the ring. So it's like I'm both ends of it. I'm like, I feel like it's amazing.
Was the Hof retreat part of the training for Everest, learning to breathe in the cold, or was that just self-fulfilling?
That was self-fulfilling. Yeah, like I flew down to Poland and met up with Wim Hof, and he put us through all these challenges, and it was just great. It was just amazing, like because that breathing is next level. It's so therapeutic, and it's the only time I've ever seen my dad cry because it was just like it brings out so emotions, and it's magic. So and it also really helps with mountain climbing as well. I went up to, when I was on Everest, I would do that Wim Hof breathing literally 3 hours, 4 hours a day straight because it just helps with the oxygen in the blood and everything, and it makes you feel really, really good.
Yeah, he's basically developed a system that you're in a hyperbaric chamber without being in a hyperbaric chamber. You're just flooding your blood with oxygen. I mean, it's healing. He healed himself with it. I think it's fascinating. So you are definitely living the dream, man.
Yeah, it was fun just sitting in a frozen waterfall for 30 minutes in Poland. It was great. Like literally, but I don't know. I love pushing myself to the extremes with, just it breaks down mental barriers in my mind. And the more, just growing up and thinking that you weren't going to do anything with your life, and then the more stuff that you break down in your mind, the more craziness you get yourself into, the stronger you become. And it just feels so great.
No, I can kind of relate because I was just in Poland and I stretched out to see how many pierogies I could eat in one sitting. And I gained 5 pounds in one night, but that's for another day. But when you look ahead to Wrestle Dream this weekend and this match with Moxley, this I Quit match, this is a story that's been going on for over a year between you and the Death Riders. How important is this matchup on Saturday? How important is Wrestle Dream, not just to you, but the story that you guys have been telling?
Yeah, no, it's everything to me. Like, 'cause I put my life into this. Like, I've sacrificed so much physically and mentally into this storyline, and I feel like this is the end on Saturday. And just like I gave everybody my word that I was going to summon Mount Everest, I'm giving everybody my word that I'm not going to say I quit. You're going to literally, I would rather die than say I quit. And I mean that. There's a lot of people in wrestling like, you'll have to kill me. I'm like, no, but literally, like, I don't give a shit if I die. So you'll have to kill me. Like,
I mean, you literally said that at the bottom of the mountain, like, I'm willing to die. Like, that's crazy. It's amazing to me. Amazing. No,
I'm excited. It's just, like I said, I have no idea what kind of wildness we're going to get into on Saturday.
I hope you just finish it with both your ears. It's still attached. Been some ear battles. I mean, personally, after this conversation, I think Moxley's fucked, but that's just me.
Yes, my money's on
honestly,
Darby Allin.
He's got more to lose, because like he's got the wife, he's got the kid. I got a fiance, but I don't have. Like, because I feel like if you have a kid, it changes everything. You start to think your life, you have to become less selfish and stuff. So I feel like in that rate, he's got to be thinking about his health for his kid at the end of the day.
I mean, you got to think ahead because, you did put him in a body bag and set him on fire. And he didn't quit. And he was back on TV that Wednesday. So knowing that, like, what the extreme, you're talking about the extreme. You're going to have to go to the extreme on Saturday. The extreme.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I have no idea what that's going to be. It's just like, we'll see. But I do want to come down to the ring on Saturday with the AEW flag that I took to the summit. I want to be walking down to the ring with that. Just it's my flag I'm bringing into battle.